I can stop the broadcast.
No, just
As soon as you finish drinking and it goes underneath, we'll know what you're doing.
Tony is absolutely comfortable and ready to broadcast, everyone. Let's go.
He
Refilling his
doesn't
beer.
need to wee at all.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight, hopefully, we will do a bonus podcast after this because we are still behind. Massive shout out to all our Patreons. We love you guys. Tonight we are joined by the lovely, everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Hello.
The man with a moustache, Stephen.
Hello, everyone.
My Tony.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, my word.
Sure.
Also known as my wife.
Yeah.
And I'm Bright Until I Fly. Hello. Shout out to Tailspin, Lurgy, Audio Geek, Richard Warwick, Cole. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. And Numbskull. How you doing? Audio Geek, Caroline Tyler. Hello. You got the people who showed up on time. I'm sure a lot of people just
they're like,
realised.
let's just get on at gone 8. They're going to be late.
Past. They'll start by about 1:45. They'll start talking about drones. That'd be it.
I know.
Yeah.
What?
Ryan, hello. Yeah, we were supposed to have the
Drone
drone
gods.
gods, Dutch drone gods. Thank you for this show, but unfortunately, they couldn't seem to get it together. So hopefully, I've been promised next week. So fingers crossed, we will have them.
That's the Red Bull following the mountain bike guys down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very.
Yep.
I watched the video and it was so far. I was like, they've got to be doing something magical, and we found out what they've been doing.
Their promo video on their website, which is very impressive. Although they do the same shot a lot, which seems to be follow something impressive and then sort of orbit round and do the same thing. They need to mix up that editing of their promo video.
I think that I think the bike chase was one of those crazy South American towns that's like the top of a massive mountain. So they had to it was a constant dive. They're following a guy who's just pegging it down these narrow
so
streets
far
on a bike.
I was like, there's definitely some trickery going on, but we'll tell you all how it happened next week.
So let's jump into a bit of news.
Well, the name sounds familiar somehow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The Dominator.
Get ready for the Dominator. Has anyone heard of that before?
I've got 2 sets.
Isn't it a pizza made by Domino's?
I think it is, yeah.
It's a bird who comes around my house now and again.
Yeah. It's also a long-running series of analog goggles. They currently have 3 versions of the Dominator.
Yeah, I've got 2.
What's up with that? Just off the track completely. Fat shot. What's up with their A? There seems to be someone's drilling through the A. Is this supposed to be?
It's supposed to make it look like a shark,
isn't it? It's
There's
a shark
the
bite.
eye.
Come on, you swim
There's
with them.
eye, and there's the teeth.
There's the teeth.
It's not the greatest.
Oh,
bit
it's
of
going
logo
upwards.
design.
I've got you now.
Yeah.
I was looking. You know how your eyes, if you just look at the white, it looks wrong, but if you look at the black, it looks fine.
Yeah,
And if you look at the, you've got that picture they did in the press release, right, Jack? If you throw the picture up, you can see they've managed to jam that A logo onto the side of the goggles as well.
I haven't got the promo picture. By the way, I will cut out at some point due to Windows updates. So it's been nice knowing you guys.
Yeah, mine's got one, and
I'm
not installing it. Hopefully, it won't take over.
I think I'm at minimal risk of that.
To classify a Windows update as a denial of service attack, because that's what it sounds like. Us non-Windows people sitting here are looking quite smug right now.
Yeah, that's not going to happen here. Well, we're good. So let me just share.
Look, I've got no screens.
Windows has turned the lights off.
Be knocking down the door and kicking you in the teeth next. So here's what we've got for our video viewers, all 15 of you. you can see that there is a new design. They've actually got the big bucks out, and Fat Shark have, shock upon all shocks, actually got a new plastic mold for their goggles,
Wow.
which they haven't done for many
Change something.
years.
This is like the first time in literally forever. I think the original Fat Sharks were one mold, and since that time,
Nothing, yeah.
the old
It's been the
Dominator
same.
shape has been the same for every single thing, including the
I
HDOs
will
and
freely
everything.
admit to constantly giving them crap for that.
Also, one thing I'm deeply unsatisfied by is, has anyone noticed anything really disturbing in that photo?
Yeah, the
Enhance.
RPSMA.
Can you? What? You also notice these buttons over here. Do they look eerily familiar to the button design of any other moldings that you might have seen?
What, Sky Zone?
You wouldn't. I guess you guys wouldn't. But maybe Tony would recognise some of the.
What DJI?
Yeah, it's eerily familiar to
Quite.
you
Yeah.
if you've seen DJI, as is the stupid use of RPSMA, because when DJI flog stuff, they've got to put it by all the relevant authorities, and that means you must only use vendor-provided antennas, and RPSMA is, of course, the means that one nullifies that argument by insisting that this is a legitimate prevention tool to stop consumers putting any old antenna on there, because everyone knows that consumers only have access to SMA antennas, and RPSMA is witchcraft and only available to vendors behind some secret
I will
NDA.
remove
I
them.
thought
It's not
the
Jack's
RPSMA
favourite, is it?
thing was something to do with some CE regulation, because I thought Immersion RC had to do it, or
Yeah. So the
someone
story
had to do it.
goes, it's often bandied around. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but the story goes that it comes back from the days of early Wi-Fi kit, when they didn't want people messing around with high gain antennas or otherwise, blasting noise out across the neighborhood, and so they forced vendors to use a socket that would prevent users from swapping their antennas, and that's where RPSMA comes from.
I heard that as well.
Weird.
I so much hate RPSMA. This is an Eachine product. I actually buy SMA connectors and will remove them. I've gotten that level of soldering. I remove them and replace them.
Wow.
With the ones
I'll
I
go
want.
so far as to actually, like, when I've got the antennas that come in RPSMA, I'll actually get like a pin that you have for a pin header, and I'll just tin it up and shove it in there and heat it, so it's now got a pin in the middle.
Apparently, I'm the only one that's not a psychopath, and I will just buy an RPSMA adapter or an antenna
Yeah,
and use
I'm
that
not-
if I
Think
have
of
to.
the
decibels, Curry.
I'm not really that bothered, to be fair, but I know it gets on Jack's wings.
Well,
Yeah.
you lose a little bit of power if you go around and put couplers and stuff, but yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Back in the olden days, it used to be everything that came from China was RPSMA, and then Immersion RC was SMA, and you got used to buying bits of each depending on how much you wanted to spend on the product.
Typically,
No.
it's just not one standard thing, is it? Like,
I will offer a service where I will remove the RP from your SMA.
Sounds painful.
Because
It just hits it with a hammer. It's not a replacement service; it's just removal.
it's fucking wacky.
Guaranteed removal up in
Yeah.
flames. So anyway,
Yeah,
the
what is the rumor mill? What are they going to run? That's the big
the
question.
rumor
isn't it?
mill is that there was a stealthy press conference on Monday night that disclosed a bunch of guff about this. And the bunch of guff appears to be that this is, in fact, a DJI product. We've had Carl from HD Zero come out and say categorically this is nothing to do with HD Zero. DJI in the press release say it's a digital system, and the various rumblings on the internet appear to be that, yeah, it's probably DJI, but it's coming via Cadex. So it's like a Cadex white label, and Fat Shark's got nothing more to do with it than the logo on the side, really. They're just being used as a well-known name to sell this to consumers, but they have nothing to do with the electronics in it, really.
We shall see.
It's kind of interesting then about, like, do we think DJI are going to continue to produce their goggles, and how
Hopefully.
are these goggles going to be different? Are you still going to need to, like, register and activate them, all these extra questions then pop up, don't they? About
Well, yeah,
what's
apparently it's
going
basically the same as the V1 or V2. It's the same guts, and DJI are keeping the newer chipsets to go on their fancy DJI branded drones, and this is just effectively the DJI goggle guts in a more familiar FPV form factor. You know,
Smaller
without the big
as well,
box
by
goggle.
the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks to be a regular Fat Shark sort of size without the big chunky form factor.
Do you think it'll still have the regular Fat Shark DVR in it, which will do 30 frames per second in horrible low res and look shit?
Oh, that's a painful.
It's got a
Well,
look
it's
shit.
DJI. You're not.
How have they managed to stuff it up? Like, that's the question, really, isn't it? What have they managed to do?
That'd be the Fat Shark added value. Crap DVR.
That shell looks like nice
Yeah, but
bright white
that's-
plastic. I
that's-
wonder if that blocks light or not.
That's the thing that has to
kind of thing,
happen.
isn't
So
it?
racers love shitty DVRs to put up.
Everything looks
Race-
faster when you can barely see the image.
Racers must be the laziest people ever for setups. Every time I like tune into a race, all I can see down the bottom is like cadecs or
Fox,
5
yeah,
volts
yeah.
or something like that, because nobody bothered to set anything
I
up on
know.
their cameras.
I must admit, mine used to flash Fox here and not my name.
But like, it's effort when you're racing and you smash stuff up all the time. So it's probably just easier and quicker not to bother.
There
And
was a
then when
race in Florida that they said you have to put your name on the thing, on the
So
screen.
everyone changed their name by default to Fox here, and they're off.
Yeah. No, you literally just had to do that. So they could, while they were talking through the race, I think it was broadcast live. They could tell who it was and all that. So yeah. So there
That was weird. Like the gain of your mic turned up for
Yeah,
just
you
2
were
seconds.
boosted for a second there.
Really?
That
I haven't
was
touched
really
anything.
weird.
It was when he touched his headset. I wonder
I
if that
touched this. Hello, is it
I
going up?
know.
Oh, it's behaving itself now.
Editor,
Well,
if you can fix that, that would be amazing.
Sorry, I'm running this off my new laptop, so it might be something to do with that.
The camera's looking pretty good. Is that a new laptop camera?
Yeah, but it's still only 720p. I bought a Lenovo, a gaming laptop, but I'm not gaming on it. I'm just
Editing.
using it for editing, which is bloody fast. So much
Anyway,
faster than the other one.
What are people's thoughts now? This is rebranded with a name that everyone knows and trusts. Does that make you think any different about it? If you were to buy
They
a
look
DJI
nice.
chipset in a
They
Fat
look
Shark
nice because they're
wrapper?
smaller.
Well, I guess for the people that didn't like the big goggles, I mean, I've never tried the normal DJI goggles. I have no idea what these look like. Does it take away some of the wow factor? Because some of that big wow factor, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going from hearsay here, was about DJI is effectively box goggles, so they got the big screens there,
Ludicrous
and you literally
FOV.
need to move around with your eyes. Whereas Fat Sharks are going to bring perhaps the field of view down a bit, and it's
Yeah.
going to look. Is it going to look as impressive if it's sort of smaller?
Yeah, I'd definitely say for my Sky Zone, I've got the Sky 04s and the DJI, and the Sky 04s are meant to have a big FOV, but they're nothing compared to the DJI. DJI is like going back to those big. I've got a Quantum Cyclops, and it's basically that. It's just a big old box goggle.
Yeah, they made me feel really sick when I first had them, but after probably 5 flights, I was used to it. But you literally do have to move your eyes to look. You have to look down at your voltage and look back up where you're flying.
Be like doing
whereas-
a driving test. You can show like, look, I'm checking my voltage
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah.
Just in case your instructor.
And
looks
there's
at you.
some DJI OSD elements you can't move, like the battery of the goggles themselves is
Yeah,
fixed
that's-
down in the bottom right-hand corner. And so I always end up like murderating my battery, and the thing stops beeping at me, even though it's, I've got hours of battery, just because I never look down that corner.
are they definitely going to be HD then at that
They're
size?
saying 1080p of all things, would you believe it? That's the first
Really?
time you've seen 1080p in something that's not a box goggle, I think.
Well, that's going to be nice to look at then.
I thought DJI only broadcasts in 720, doesn't it?
You are right. It's actually something like 800p, I think. That's the top end. But yeah, I think they went up to 800p on the second generation. I'm sure there's people who know the exact number, but there was a slight bump.
Not a lot.
The video stream, it's nominally 720p.
I mean, we call HD 720, but it's not really that good, is it? You're seeing me in HD, which is only 720. It's not brilliant.
I do wonder if it is 1080p, are they going to launch their own transmitters as well? And if so, what does that look like? And the other question is, does this arrive with the actual OSD, the full Betaflight OSD, the full rendered and controlled by your flight controller OSD, rather than, we don't like those elements, we won't let you see them, which is what you currently get with DJI.
Well, it strikes me that if you were trying to put together some goggles and you wanted like OLED or LED screens, then probably 1080p ones are easier to get hold of than anything else right now, because that's kind of like the minimum, isn't it, these days? Perhaps it's just that sort of thing.
De facto standard. It means, I suppose, you could also have some kind of chrome and guff around the image, with the image in the middle, and then a little bit scaling if you wanted it to. You wouldn't have to go like full panel, like you're saying, disorientatingly wide. You could like put the image down to native resolution and then upscale a little bit, perhaps.
So have DJI actually sort of properly allowed a proper OSD to come through? Because I thought this was all like what they read the MSP thing and they decide what's going to overlay the goggles, and hasn't it only been the hacky stuff that's got like a full.
Yeah.
So
although Cadex have promised to do it about 2 years ago, and then they didn't. It was around about the same time as they said they were going to block everyone else's cameras, and people went, "That's ridiculous! What on earth are you talking about? Why are you blocking other?" Because we had an eSheen camera, and then the Cadex cameras, and Cadex were not happy with eSheen by the sound of it. It was an eSheen one that came out. It was really quite rubbish, but it was cheap, and they threatened to block it. Yeah, the eSheen one came first, and then there was a RunCam, then there was a follow-up from RunCam. And Cadex were not happy that they had this special partnership and someone else had figured out how the special interface worked for the camera, and they were cloning it effectively. And
I did think that was RunCam as well, actually. I thought the RunCams came out and they got taken off the market quick.
There was. I know there was an eSheen one because I've got an eSheen one as well, which came out before the RunCam ones. But maybe it was the beef was perhaps with RunCam. I can't remember.
If they are 1080, if they are 1080 that close to your face, it's going to be a really good picture. I mean, 720 is really good when it's that quick. I mean, you only upscale stuff when it's further away, don't you? Like, you can have 8K TV. There's no point unless it's 80 inches and you're you're standing right back there. So I suppose 720 right close to your eyeball pools look nice, and 1080 is going to look lovely.
Goggles work in a weird way though. They act like the image is projected like 6 foot in front of you, because otherwise, me being short-sighted, should have brilliant vision on the goggles, but without my diopters, I can't see a goddamn thing. So it's kind of like they're further away from you, and there's a distance, isn't there, between how can you tell the difference between 1080p and 4K? It's like you've got to be a certain distance before it actually makes something. Yeah. If you're so far away, it's like, well, it looks the same.
I mean, you can for sure see individual pixels on the DJI goggles.
You can.
I can. Yeah. You can see the jaggies on the fonts and stuff. So that might go away.
There's jaggies. We need to get rid of those.
Yeah. I mean, there's numerous things that are not great about it. It hasn't really moved forward in a few years. And I was saying that OSD promise was just thrown out when consumers were annoyed that Cadex was throwing its weight around, and Cadex, we'll give you the customized OSD. And then everyone forgot that they were about to ban other people's cameras, and then they never followed up on it.
Yeah, I just can't stand the whole like not a proper OSD and no room for diopters as well.
And I spend all my time hunting through the fields to see how Betaflight renders all the text fields and being like, can I use this one to chuck some extra info in? Most recently, I'm looking at the disarmed field and the RTC clock and thinking, can I repurpose those to put some other OSD? No. It's kind of a pain. It's a bit. It's annoying.
So bullshit.
It is. Yeah.
Do you want to think some? I wonder when we. Ryan asks. I wonder when we stop chasing the next thing like 8K video for whatever. I love watching the analog raw DVR clips. Gives me Matrix vibes, but equally commercial / cine. Obviously, DJI smashes it.
He's right.
Mm.
I mean,
Matt's
it's a
fly-
bit like what-
comments about
What Tony was saying about like 720p as HD, because back in the day when we moved over from like the old CRTVs to like HD TVs, it says, oh, it needs to be HD ready, right? And then they said, oh, it needs to be full HD, because that's when they had 1080p. And then it's like, oh no, we need a new name. What we're going to call it? It's like, let's call it 4K HD or Ultra HD. So the next thing's going to be, it's gonna sound like a Willy Wonka chocolate bar. It's like absolutely smashing, super great HD or something like that.
Oh, I know they're doing 12K stuff. Jack, can someone switch Jack's mic off?
I'm back. It's fine.
Oh, we can't see you. Well, people are doing 12K stuff, which is just ridiculous unless you're putting it on a screen the size of a house and putting it in a
The cinema
park.
screen.
It's also such a pain. It's so stupid. Like the 4K stuff is the cinema resolution when it's literally 4,000 pixels. All the consumer stuff they sell is 4K. Like it's not. It's 3840. It's not 4K. They
No.
sell it as 4K, but the actual number is
It's nearly there.
3840. It's one of my
close.
little things that drives me crazy. And then you double that to 8K, and it's 7,600. It's even further away from 8,000.
Mm.
It's just
I
the most
mean,
convenient marketing line.
Well, it's like Dominator for ages. Got like HD 3s, HD 2s,
Yeah,
HD
that was complete bullshit,
Like,
wasn't it? It's not-
HD OLED. Like
it's like 480p or something.
Were any of them actual HD?
Not even
I think
close.
only the HDO2s were. Oh no,
Ridiculous,
I'm
isn't it?
I'm waiting
they're
for the
still in
lovely
640.
news that by the way, we've got HDMI in, not out on these new goggles.
Mm.
Just one-handed clap, because that's how useless they are.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
marketing.
Where do we go? Caroline Taylor says their O3 transmission on the new camera drones do 1080 transmitter resolution. Perhaps the chipset could be coming to the Air 2 unit.
Mm.
No? Any ideas? Any views?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Brandon Bean says the Ronin 4D remote screen has the DJI goggles dual band antennas. Does
And
the
does
1080?
1086.
Mads
I'm
was
thinking-
talking about this earlier, and he said it does 1080p, but that drops down to 720p like pretty quickly unless you somehow lock it. It's going to do 1080p when you're a few meters away, and then drop.
Calyx had nothing to do with the actual firmware, so all promises in that direction were BS.
Hey,
Mm.
Style
Yes.
sucks. He's the guy that does ESC configurator. Welcome.
Really?
Hi.
Nice to see you in the audience, and huge
Yeah.
thanks from everyone who flashes their ESCs on that.
Is he the BR Heli configurator?
No, the web one, escconfigurator.com for BlueJay
Oh,
and
nice.
for AM32. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you very
kindly
much.
for that.
yeah.
FX Node, what about the new pancake lenses used in VR? Maybe that would help. Less boxy, more field of view.
Are they Fresnel though? You get that weird ripple effect.
I don't know. I stayed out of the whole.
Friends.
Do you remember when your mum used to say, "Don't sit next to the TV"? Your eyes.
Oh,
are
mate,
going
that's a
bad."
meme. I know, isn't it?
And
Your
then
eyes will
we're
go square.
literally all flying with goggles strapped to our boat races.
When people watching, doing the VR.
Only in cinema, Caroline. It is 4,096 in cinema, but in consumer stuff, it's not. It's an outrage.
I find people are very, very loose with what 1K means. It depends. If I remember, this is a weird diversion, but I was trying to get space on a SAN network for backing up stuff, and I was like, I need like 16 extra terabytes, please, or something. And at that point, the people handing out decide that 1K is 1,000, and so by the end of it, you're like, I'm down several gigabytes because you've missed out my 24 bytes every time you're counting, and just taking it away like that. But if then they say you've used up this much space, then they people count it the way they want to, and it's the same. It seems the same with resolution. So it's like 4K. We'll round it up. It's near 4,000. Don't worry about the extra 96.
Where are the extra pixels going, Curry? Who's hoarding all the extra pixels? Where do they go?
They're off screen. They're the over. What's it called? Oh God, I'm having a dimension moment. Overscan. Thank you, Joe.
Where has that dementia
Hang on.
Have we got the dementia thing that we can flash up?
Yeah, hang on.
Come on.
Let's play dementia.
Fucking hell.
No, mate.
Yeah, I like that. Well, when we watch Bottom Jack, Rick Mail and Adrian Emerson, that is in 480p.
No way.
It's recorded in 480p.
Oh, God, we're so old.
I know. When you watch that, it was like, oh my God. You watch it back and you look, it's 480p. It's like worse than our goggles. You could watch Bottom on your DJI on your Fat Shark goggles, and it'll look just as good as on a TV.
Some of us are still using our old analog, good old Dominator V3s because we still haven't got anything else.
I haven't put my V2s on in a while, but I probably need to at Wings and Wheels if I ever get my X-Class running for Wings and Wheels.
What I've always wanted to do is get a Sega Mega Drive, because admittedly, like, Clive sorted me out the Master System, but like the Mega Drive's a bit more bearable with like controls and up to date, and I've always wanted to just hook that up to a VGX, because obviously the Mega Drive runs on 9 volts, so you could hook it all up to a LiPo, regulate the voltage, and just play Sega Master System like wirelessly. Or
good old days.
Maybe do the whole PlayStation. PS1.
Plug something in.
Yeah, and play. Have DVR of.
I've got an emulator with HDMI out. I could just run that into some goggles.
Right, don't show off. I've got an emulator and I need to go and use it now. Well, back in a minute.
Original
hardware
only,
little
please.
TV box that runs off 5 volts, so could power that off a USB power bank, and of course, having walked all the way to a field to fly, I generally decide to fly, run down my goggle battery playing games. But yeah, that'd be doable.
I've also wanted to make a little annoyance device for Tony, where do you remember the really awful VTXs that like broadcast on multiple channels? And like get an OSD and just have it say find the sausage, and then tape the VTX with this little LiPo to a sausage and hide it somewhere, and like people have to find it in order to switch it off. I think that would be quite funny.
That'd be too easy. You put your rapid fire on and just put it in search mode, it'd get there quite quick.
I know, yeah. But I think it would be quite a good evening party game, for the FPVs.
I'd like to do it in the middle of a race event just to see the outrage and shouting and swearing.
Oh yeah, man, mate, you make you so hated. But yeah,
just broadcast to like a TV show or something, and then just hop the channels automatically. So you just hop like R1, R2, R3 every few seconds.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The other thing is, if you weren't at an event, you could like maybe play a porno or something, or something like risque, you know, for people to tune
There's
into late night
my-
TV.
Late
My
night poker.
local shopping centre, some of its security cameras broadcast on 5.8 because I've seen this when I've been like, I've had this little watch and I've picked myself up on it and sort of wave, and I thought maybe I could just go down there and broadcast something back to them. So all the security guys watching their cameras and suddenly something else pops up.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, that's it. That would be good. Like trying to spectrum analyze and find out what channel they're on, what channels they're using, or
And then
just
just
like
blast something out at 1 watt.
have it back at them. Plain like something bizarre like the Tom Green show or something.
Well, they're looking for criminal events, so you could just play them some like scenes out of old crime thrillers.
Yeah.
People breaking into stuff.
Do it, Carrie. People encouraging me to do criminal activities.
Outrage.
It might happen. The only thing is you won't get to see the reaction. That's the shame, isn't it? It's like I need to see inside their office to see what happens when you start doing it.
Well, they might have a camera inside their office. I mean, you could just...
No, I've tried. I've gone through all the channels. I can only pick up three feeds. One's just... the thing is, I can see them moving the camera around and zooming in on people as well. But one's just in the car park, one's in like a delivery thing, and the other one's...
Hang on, you can see them moving the camera around. Does that mean the camera controls are wireless as well?
Oh, that I don't know.
That's 3.4.
Stephen, yeah, that's the point. I tell you what you could do though. It would be a lot of work. Is get like a Mavic Mini or something and like record, or failing that, hover and record where the camera is, or failing that, record good quality footage, and then overlay it with something.
You have to go up a ladder, take a picture, print it out, and then stick it in front of the camera like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just frozen in time.
This is the old 60s crime thrillers when they take a camera, they take a shot, and they get this photo, stick it up there, and they unplug the camera for a minute.
Yeah.
And some guy in the control office is banging it until it's come back now. It's okay. Everyone's quite still now, aren't they?
Windows Movie Maker transitions, like the camera pans and then slowly turns upside down.
Or a slow kaleidoscope transition.
Yeah. Just as the guard's taking a swig of tea, wondering whether someone slipped in an acid.
Yeah. But apparently it's not unusual. So next time, if any of you guys have got like the little FPV watches, if anybody got one of those, if you go around like a shopping centre, just go through and do a quick scan. You'll be surprised at what you might be able to pick up.
Can you do that with your goggles, or is it just watch?
You can do it with the goggles, but I find the goggles are a little bit more suspicious looking. Wandering through, saying it's fine. I'm a Galactic Ranger. I'm just checking stuff out here.
I'm a little bit suspicious, yeah. Standing outside bloody shopping mall with your goggles.
It's like some guy standing on his van outside Heathrow, being not suspicious.
How did you not get like super arrested? Like they must have really wanted to arrest you.
Yeah, well, they couldn't, could they? Because
you're standing on a van.
Exactly.
No one can get you.
Can't get me down from there.
Unstoppable. Has anyone seen RC Test Flight's latest little project?
What, 12S?
What, the snow?
Yeah.
12S, boy. Oh, no.
12S.
He's got this little snow crawler, and it was all sensible, and then he decided to put it on 12S, I think, instead of 6S, and it's just this ludicrous, overpowered beast with 2.5 kilowatts of power on track
Until it burnt the motors completely to bits.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. He bent an axle, and his axles are like steel bars. We're not talking about little motor shafts. It's like a 10 mil thick bar.
Do you reckon we can get away with playing a little bit of footage? It'll be good to see the axle.
Okay, hang on. Let me just.
So.
Oh wait, we discovered last time that if I make it much smaller, then it plays better, right? That was the general.
Yeah,
yes,
hang on.
full
We've
screen.
got Someone want to read that out?
Ryan. I work in security and hold a CCTV license. Did I put too many C's in that?
Too many C's.
I'd be keen to see the sites I work on if it works. Cheers for the idea. Just don't prank me. You know he's going to be taking his goggles to work on tomorrow.
Let's
Oh my god!
just see what I can share.
How's it looking?
Let's see if I can share a window. If I make it small, is it going to play properly?
Oh, it's his snowcat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12S, bad
Yeah.
boy.
Look at that. It's like
Yeah.
completely ludicrous.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I thought it worked both sides.
Yeah, because he had this charge thing that was so big that he had to put the that little thing on it, so then it wouldn't drive
Yeah.
upside down. It's a shame.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Damn it.
I watch everything he does. He's such a brilliant tuber.
He's just
very
or
watchable,
person.
isn't he?
He's just
Rashing this
very
thing.
watchable. I think he puts so much effort into anything he does. Videoing,
We checked his outros.
he's just really good. Deserves all
man's
the
on a
views.
mission.
Yeah.
He thought this was such a good idea. He put his own money into making it into a kit and ordered like an entire, like a UPS truck full of bits and built it in his garage and shipped it out to like a couple of hundred people. I mean, the guy's a hero.
Did you see the one where he put the cars going around his garden until they wore out? Brilliant.
I like the song at the end because it's like a script of one of his neighbors being like, "God damn, what is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Like
I did wonder what his neighbors thought.
You leave that thing on all day. My kid's trying to study for a test all day and all night. I can't wait for you to move out. Like, I'm ringing the police, and yeah, it is so funny. It's just this dialogue of like, why, if you're a normal person, living next to him would be hell.
Yeah. Agreed.
Here's what I was talking about before. Here's me picking up security footage, and here's me working out where the security cameras was, checking my watch, taking the dog for a walk, so I can have their security camera of me waving in the video.
Me watching you, watching me, watching him.
That is mad.
That's funny.
Oh man. So I've already told the story to these guys, but anyway, I've been making an LED board for a quad, and I've got some ready. I've made them. They're done in like a little, in the anti-static bag. I built a jig for testing the LEDs, and you put it on there and they light them up. Stephen has one to show. That was the prototype. So
the real ones are fancy black color, I gather.
I wanted to make some stickers to go along with them, and when I submitted my stickers, apparently Tony looks like Vin Diesel because I had
to the extent of copyright infringement.
Yeah, a copyright query.
I think it just must be the bald head.
And I had, if you see here, there's a picture of Vin Diesel, and
look at my muscles! I've been fucking working out, bro.
Yeah,
oh, come on, you should have put Tony's arms on as well. Like,
noodles.
Yeah,
That definitely wouldn't have got a copyright strike with a noodle arms.
It reads, "I live my life a lipo at a time. For that 4 minutes or less, I am free." But yeah, and I made these stickers, and they refused to print anything ever again.
What? Because I look like Vin Diesel.
I'm
fucking going out in a white vest tomorrow.
You've actually been banned from a sticker printing shop now.
Yep. I can't name them, but yeah, very
Name and
unhappy.
shame.
Taking themselves a bit seriously there,
Just
aren't they?
name and shame them.
No, so they were, once I pointed out to them that, like, if you
It
look
wasn't Vin
closely,
Diesel.
it's not Vin Diesel.
It's my wife,
A
Tony.
really good Photoshop of my mate Tony. So they now know who Tony is. They reference Tony in the emails.
Fucking hell.
So either Tony looks like Vin Diesel, or Ed, if you're listening to this, your
done a really
Photoshop
good job.
skills are.
What you need to do is put my noodle arms on there, and we'd probably get away
They'd be
with
like,
it.
wait a
They
minute.
wouldn't have queried that one, would they?
No, they're just
No.
like, oh, okay, that's someone trying to be him. Okay.
Yeah. If you can have a word with Ed for me, I might give him a ring after this. But yeah. So if any of you are listening to this and would like to buy an LED board or get delightful stickers from me,
Customized
they
and
will-
personalized stickers.
I want
Yeah.
a sticker already.
I will never give these out. The only way to get them is to buy an LED board. And if you want
Tony
an
wants to
LED
use it on
board,
his
How much is an LED board? How do they buy
dating
an LED
profile.
board?
Yeah.
At the moment, they're not listed anywhere. I'm waiting for a couple of shops to get back to me. But if you want to buy an LED board, email me at brightuntilifly at
They're designed
Gmail.
for an Apex, right? And if I remember correctly, we are looking at 20 mil high and 31 mil wide.
Yeah. I've
Wow.
done all the copy. I've just gotta wait for the sticker shop to be not as mad at me.
Can you turn that on, or is it on?
I'll grab.
Get a minute. I've got my trusty XT60 plugged into a 12-volt supply down here on the desk.
Also-
Both turn them on. Come on.
If someone's got a mini Apex,
Oh, they're bright. Aren't they? Wow.
and they look like that. So there's
That's
a
cool.
room for the
Yeah,
antenna.
it's used some pretty decent LEDs on there. I think
They're
it is
really
a fair
bright.
bit brighter than other LEDs I've had before. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and there's like little cutouts for your video antenna, your crossfire antenna. There's a cutout for your VTX. I've made them. I've designed them myself. I've soldered them myself. Yeah, so I've made them. So if you do want one, you can just send me some PayPal money, and I will send you some stickers and an LED.
Most
No,
useful
it's definitely
cable in the
worth it
world.
just for the stickers, I'd say.
Yeah, so I'm making a little sticker pack. Hopefully the stickers from the shop will. Do they help when doing ladder dives? Maybe. If someone's got like a 3-inch Apex and you can prove that you've got one by a photo and the ID, I will send one to you to test fit to see whether they fit, because it fits basically on. I've only got a 5-inch Apex, but if someone's got like a small Apex or the DC one, I need 2 people to test fit or measure for me.
That frame was an AOS 5.5 V2, by the way. Chris Ross's frame fits perfect
Yeah.
on the back of
I
that.
can't believe Failsafe FPV's literally admitted live that he's got a 4-inch.
Yeah.
He should never do that.
But like, yeah, they're great for
There's
like,
another one,
so you
Martian.
can follow and find people. And
Yeah.
do you want to see what else I've been working on?
Go on,
This
then.
is all right. Hang on, let me
Oh,
get
so
it.
it's another one,
See it.
Tony. Oh, dear.
Another one's got a 4-inch. Oh, God.
So
Are they bragging or complaining? That's the question.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't put Caroline.
Been a bit
Tyler's-
colder than I was expecting today, but still.
so I've
Put it
made,
up.
you know, with the
Oh, look at
Apex,
that. It's
you
got a
got
little.
What on
Look,
earth?
turn
Is
it back
this your-
round.
this is your lager, is it?
Jack, make yourself big. Someone
No.
make
And
Jack
biggin.
big. Now
Okay.
hold it
More
up
than
and
4
look
inches.
Look at the little cat, Persian cat.
It's got a
on
tiny
there.
little
Yeah.
cat and a
That's
micro SD,
sick.
so I guess
It's
with
an
an
SD
open
reader. What's it
logger
for?
or an open logger.
It's an
one of the
open
two.
log, and it fits on
Not an open
the.
lager.
No, I will make an open lager at some
Open
point.
logger only supports lower data rates, which means on modern quads these are not so effective. But I'm guessing that Jack is not plugging this into a modern quad. Jack has a museum
No,
piece
so
specifically
if
for
you,
this.
so like, if you've got an Apex, and you've
Make Jack
not
big.
got if you've got like something like a
Make Jack big.
if you've got something like a Kiss Ultra, you don't need the OSD board anymore. So I've made a
Very
little.
funny.
Yeah, you've
Sorry.
made it
That's cool.
so that you can have like a little. You can cut a little bit out of your K plate.
You've got to
you
hold
can
these a
have-
bit closer to the camera, man. They're quite small and it's pretty dark. So you've got to
That's
cut a
what
bit
she
out
said.
of what?
You got to cut a little bit out the side plate that you can then access your SD card.
Oh, right. Nice.
So I don't know whether I will make. I might make an open lager, but I thought that was pretty cool. And then
That's
you've
cute.
got like the
way it
little.
fits is really nice.
Yeah,
That's really well thought out.
It's just something that I made for like, to get better at making PCBs. But
Have you considered
like
making
cat.
something for people who don't own Apex quads?
yeah, maybe. I
It's
don't know
called an
whether I
Apex
like
frame.
those people.
Oh.
I'm joking. No, I just, obviously I like, I run Kiss, and
You're a fanboy, aren't you? Case fanboy.
yeah, obviously I really love Impulse RC, and I'm just making stuff for the 2 quads that I own. I don't really own any other quads,
Perfectly understandable.
so. But yeah,
Notice
so-
Nums, speaking of quads
Looks
and
cool,
interesting builds, Nums has got Macro America, which is featured in our video and picture channel a fair bit. That looks like an absolute monster. So that the Macro America is a larger version of the Merica, no A included, from Catalyst Machine Works. That possibly their single quad that isn't an obscene reference.
I haven't seen these. Can you share pictures? This is from
Any
Discord channel.
pictures?
Yeah, it's in Discord. Let me see if I can find this. It's a 9-inch or 8-inch version, or is it maybe a 10-inch version? It's a giant chunky version of the standard 5-inch frame, and it's an absolute monster. Well, there's one. He's got. Of course, I can't. Let's put that on there. Share screen.
I thought we were talking about penis sizes again.
That's just you, Tony. This has all actually been about quadcopters.
I know.
There we are. Look at that. So that's his APDs on there. It basically takes beast class-ish type of thing, somewhere between your regular sort of 7-inch and a beast class, I guess. Just a lot of concentrated power.
Oh, nice. Look at the Nipex cutters.
Better one there. There we are. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That's kind of
Look at the size of those motors. That's ludicrous.
Is it a
You can't
unibody?
really tell
not?
how big
No,
it is.
no, it's not a
from
unibody.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you
So
can see
I
how the
think
legs are
they're
screwed
like-
on, can't you?
Do you want to explain what Beast Class is? Because it's a little bit weird.
So Beast
isn't
class is like an X class frame, but shrunk down so the props are actually close to each other. It's as small as you can make an X class without props touching, basically. I'm seeing if I can see what motors Num's actually got on these. He's saying it's a
3115.
3115. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's a big motor.
I like your
This
little
looks like a lot of
It's
fun.
not that
grinder.
big, but
grinder. And the reflow nozzles. Have you Numbskull, have you managed to get your soldering iron replaced? Because we were all on the edge of our seats whether you actually got a new one or not.
You lost your baby.
I know. I hate it. Like, man, when when my iron went, I was very sad. So, yeah.
I almost went in because Failsafe was talking about ordering a bunch of pine sills. I almost got myself a pine sill just so I could have USB-C as well as the DC in jack that I've got on that TS100. So I know that thing's going to break when I don't want it to. It's just inevitability.
Yeah. Curry, what have you been up to today?
I went
hear
flying.
You went out. Yeah.
Bloody
I did.
hell, I haven't done that for about 2 weeks.
I found out I was doing it for a video, and I filmed the first part of the video ready to fly 6 weeks ago. That's how long it's been, because I was sort of ill for a while, and then the weather wasn't good, and then I went away, and the weather wasn't good again, and it was okay this morning. It was quite nice, and last time I was in the field, it was like all wet and muddy, and this time, like, the grass was up to here. I had to make my own crop circle just to sit in it. And then landing's interesting because I'm sat down on the floor and I was like, I don't know where I am because I was like under the grass. I had to sort of do little routes to try and find myself. But I was out trying to test 3 receivers at once. Well, not quite at once, one after the other. I had them all installed in a quad, and I wanted to see the difference between Express LRS with your regular T antenna, which is like, you know, your good reception, and then the ceramic tower antenna, and then the new, do you remember the Beta FPV flat antenna, which was very bad? They redesigned it, so I tested that. And then I had it so I could reconfigure the receivers. So first they were sort of in the guts of the quad, and then I put them out on the arm, and I kept doing tests with them to see what would happen. And I had 2 fail safes during this testing of a quad that had no like rescue mode or anything, and over some very, very long crops. But aside from saying RX loss on the screen, the dBm value didn't actually drop all the way down, so the link quality went horrific. Instead I had no signal, but I was able to turn around and still come back again. Interesting. It was an interesting test.
Mm-hmm. Are these all Express LRS receivers?
All Express LRS, yeah.
I've noticed about that is it says the link quality is stupid low, but it doesn't like fail safe and drop the link. It just gets really juddery, like where you're clearly like missing stick inputs.
It tells you it's fail safed in the Betaflight OSD. It just says RX loss. But because I saw it, because the link quality, you know, normally with Express LRS it's like 100, and then like you'll turn around and it'll say, oh, I've just dipped to like 60 and come back again. But this was like heading down, and it was starting to get flickery in 80, and as soon as it gets to 80 it starts pinging down to 60. So I was going along, and it's about between 400 and 500 meters to the end of this field, which I decided was a reasonable test using this piddly little receiver inside at 500 hertz, because I thought if you can do that, that's a decent race, or that's good range for like a whoop or something, because really you wouldn't want to put these in a 5-inch. But I went out, and when I started doing the turn, the link quality was like 60, and I turned around and it went to 0 completely, but the dBm value only went to like minus 95. I think it stopped at like minus 100, which was still within the realms of you have a signal here. And so I didn't get any sort of patchy signal. I was able to keep flying back. It was quite terrifying at the time, because I was like, oh no, that's a really long walk in a really big field. But it came back. So it's only the benefit of going back and looking at the DVR. You can actually like see the dBm. I wasn't a fan of the dBm type of RSSI, and people kept being annoyed with me for not showing it. But since I put it in there, and sort of realising when the signal drops, I can at least do a fair comparison between them, because you can see we go to the same thing, and you can see the dBm value on each of the receivers, and you can see this one's easy, this one's not as good, and this one is struggling quite easy from that, even though the link quality could be the same. So that was cool. I've got a new platform for my OpenHD quad finally. Do you want to see it?
Ooh,
Yes.
Oh,
shiny, shiny.
Whistle and hum. There he is.
Ooh.
Oh,
It is this. It is the iFlight Chimera 7, which was literally me saying,
Very
"Hello,
nice.
iFlight. Could I have one of those quads? Because you've got a lot of room in them. I can put stuff in them."
Yeah,
And
nice
they
long
eventually
body.
sent this along. Nice long
Won't have to
body.
stick it on the
Not
side
quite
anymore.
dead cat.
No, it's a big heavy bugger. So yeah, I'm gonna take this out for there it is, a good fly.
Oh, it's pretty
soon.
serious, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get. I ran out of parallel adapters, so this would normally take about a 3,000 milliamp hour 6 cell, and I haven't got any. I've only got like a couple of 1050s. I thought I'll do 2 of those in parallel, and we'll fly it like that. So I'll do a review as the analog version. It's already got ERS on it, and then
Not quite a tomahawk,
basically-
but you know.
Yeah, because everyone's getting on this game, and iFlight made their own receivers now, don't they? They've joined that.
Yeah, every single person's got Express LRS. Although I think iFlight, no, they do have their own.
iFlight have
firmware,
released their own
models.
Yeah.
And they've got their own radio, which is the this one, which isn't quite out yet. At May the 20th, you might find lots and lots of reviews about that all at the same time. Hint, hint.
Nudge.
Looks pretty cool.
I flew, but it was for Trailhead Brewery.
Oh yeah.
I just
Was this
flew a
the
little-
one
Clip you did there.
we saw a couple of weeks ago that came out, or was this?
Yeah, it's just a little Instagram/Facebook post for a local brewery. You know, I'm a mountain biker as well, so yeah, I just got in contact with this guy and flew in his brewery. Just flew through the window, down the stairs, through the brewery, and back out the window. It's like literally a 30-second shoot, but very, very windy, horrible day. But yeah, it's like Jack said, it's stressful. It's flying for, you go out and fly for enjoyment, and then you fly for a job, and you're like, oh my god, I've got to get this right.
Completely different animal.
It is.
Did
it
you
is stressful.
get paid in beer or cash for this one?
Clearly beer. Look at it. He's drinking it now. He's like had like 4.
I got paid in beer.
Hello.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a cool little shoot. I had my mate G there was helping me, and yeah, it was literally this is it, just flying. It's pretty standard cine whoop shoot. The worst
We need
bit
to
was
have
going around these stairs.
We
That
need
was
to have
the
a
hardest
meeting with
Not too shabby, man.
StreamYard. Oh.
Did you do it all in one, Tony, or did
One
you have to have
shot.
a couple of goes?
bit. Yeah, no, one shot. But I had
to
a
get
couple.
in one
of
drink,
goes.
First
didn't you?
time.
This was probably third time. It was
What?
literally
I
only a
continually
20
to be-
second.
Impressed with these people that just stand there pretending nothing's happened when the loudest fucking
Yeah,
noise
I know. I was like,
is going
this
past
is quite
them.
loud and it's going past your face. Just carry
He's
on
trying to pull a
talking,
pint
it's
when there's this.
fine. If it hits you, it'll be all right. It was fine. Yeah, no, it's just he just wanted an Instagram, Facebook, 30-second stuff.
If
so
it hits you, you'll be all right because Tony will just get his wallet out, start pulling out 50s.
here's 50 quid. Mum's the word. Be all right. No, it's a good little shoot, but it's so stressful when you get there and it was a glorious morning. The weather was fine, and then as soon as I turned up, honestly, I took my drone out of the fucking bag, and the wind went. Go on, you basket! Because I was planning to fly through the top window. I actually did fly through the top window, and then carried on. But I had to cut it before because it was just horrendous. I was getting blown sideways, and then went through the window and went through. All outside, all inside was fine. It was outside was just. It was just horrific. And you know what? It's like flying a brick. They're like wind. It's so horrible outside. Inside they're fine. You can just slowly do whatever you want, speed it up, slow it down. But outside, going through the window, I was like sideways and gust, and I'd come back, and then I was right. I'm going for it now. Go through the window. Anyway, I had to cut the going through the window bit out. But he was happy with it. I was happy with it. It was like a nice little Instagram, Facebook post. But it's like Jack said, it's stressful when you turn up and you have to walk, take your take your quad, walk the course, whatever you want, like walk the track if you're a racer, and just see if you get image all the way around, and then you go for it, and then so many things happen. Like you don't, it's just not like going to a field and doing some freestyle and flying and enjoying it. It's just 'cause you've got to do something for someone that they want to make it look good, and it's stressful. But that's the only flying I've done for a little while. I've been mostly camping, but I enjoy.
Matron.
I do enjoy it, but it is stressful. But
Gotta
the
keep your
beer's
hand in,
nice.
right?
Trailhead Brewery
Where's the brewery if people want to drop by?
in Dorking. Yeah, Trailhead. It's good. It's nice beer.
Right,
Nice.
so that is all we have time for, guys. We've reached the end of the
now.
show. We are doing a bonus podcast, so if you're a Patreon, we're gonna hang around for an hour and chat amongst ourselves.
And if you're not a Patreon, what's your excuse? Sort it out.
Yeah.
There's still time. You can join now and then get the insight into our amazing chat.
What's the lowest they can join for?
They can join for $1. That gives you a little blue spanner, so you can post links in the chat. And $3 if you want the bonus podcast. We do that once a month. And for $9 something, you can get a whole. Oh no. I need to get the old waffler out, baby.
Thank you, Caroline.
AJ's in the house.
Yeah,
as well.
For
$9, you can have one of Tony's kidneys. That's the way it works.
But there's actually a specialty if you're really feeling like making a year. I think for something like £100, you get to actually have your own custom show made about a topic of your choosing.
Wow.
But it's still there as a premium tier. If you're feeling just a little bit crazy, if you've had like 8 pints and you don't know what to do with all the money left in your wallet tonight,
go for it.
You know, we'll do a show for you. There you are.
Literally for you. Right, Jack, what are you lighting?
Nothing by the looks of it, because he's turned his camera off.
Can't see you.
I know, because I
Technical
literally had my
difficulties.
dick in front of the camera. And I thought no one would want to see that.
Well, fair play for turning that off. We congratulate you and thank you.
To be fair, Caroline would have overpaid there, so.
Yeah.
Or underpaid.
Oh, the secret waffler sauce has been exposed.
The secret shall not be revealed.
Oh, good year.
Oh, God. Every time you donate, you literally could kill Jack. So if you want to donate more, then
go for it. Lots of small donations, just chain them up.
Yeah, just paying for my untimely demise.
Yeah, if you want to know where our Patreon is, or if you want to know where anything else of ours is, have a look on your website, letsdroneout.com. There's links and stuff, and you can find where we are on the web.
Mind your finger, Jack.
Look at that waffler. Oh, wow.
We must get some more cakes, because this is like, you're literally going to burn in hell.
Did you just break rule 0 then?
Oh, shit, yeah.
May have been a slight contravention there.
Yeah.
Oh, bushfire.
Promise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks for the donation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, all our Patreons. You get on the list. You can have your name on there.
The naughty list.
We need to add someone. Go to letsdroneout.com. We are live every Thursday. If you're listening to this via I don't know, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, that's where we are. We're live every Thursday. Come and just say hello. We love to see our listeners, and you guys have been great. Thank you. You've been joined by everyone's favorite curry kitten.
Goodbye.
Stephen.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Wifey.
Bonjour.
Brighty.
Oh, it's
Thank
Tony. Come on. He started out so well, that sincerity. Looked him in the eye and called him Tony, and now we're just...
This is
I know.
fine.
He's used to it. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Patreon.com. Let's show now.
Bye.